everybody.
In progress.
Welcome to the Extraordinary Lovers Navigating Love's Challenges Without Spending Years in Therapy. Who's excited? Somebody put, I'm excited.
I'm
in
excited
the
about
chat.
that. I raised my wrong hand. I'm excited about that.
Yes, yes. All right. Let's get started. I want to share with you a couple of things, first of all, as we get started. We don't actually have video, or we can't really see everybody in the what is it, the room. We can't see everybody in the room. And I'm Alexa, can you help us with that? Could you help? By the way, can we introduce you to somebody that is really important to our team? She is an amazing human being. She's been through our program, and she is working with us to help us to create a whole lot of
A movement.
a movement of love. Her name is Alexa. Alexa, can you come on? There you are.
Yay. Okay.
All right. And we're recording. And hi. And just tell us a little bit about yourself. And I just want you all to know that Alexa's helping us with some of the back end
She's our
technology.
expert.
She's our specialist. She's an
Yeah.
extraordinary lover specialist, and she's helping us.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Lori. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Alexa.
So good to see you again.
And where are you today?
I'm in Toronto.
All right.
All right. Wonderful. We're in Phoenix.
We're in Phoenix.
Excellent.
And maybe people could put on the screen where they're chatting in from.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So let's have
Put in the
everybody do
chat.
that.
Yeah.
Put it in the chat. Where are you from?
I see Denver,
Maine.
Maine. Nice.
DC.
Great.
John and Victoria, welcome. Hey, Karen, hello. David Henry, you're out of Phoenix? Come on now. And Josie, welcome, everybody. That's amazing. Yeah, calling in from Regina, Canada, Montana, Denver. Oh, I see some people in here. Oh, yeah. Well, it's good to see every one of you. Welcome. Welcome to How to Navigate Love's Challenges
Scottsdale too.
without spending years in therapy. So Alexa is going to be helping us out inside of the chat. If you have any questions, you can direct them to her, and she'll be fielding those as we go. Also, she is here to answer any questions that you might have. In fact, she is available at the end or during, if you'd like to book a call to find out more about what it is that Lori and I do around the world with extraordinary lovers. So the next thing we want to ask you is, how did you find out about us? Did you get an email? Did you somebody told you about us? How did you find out about us? Go ahead and put that in the chat as well. Yeah, the Dames.
The Dames,
Yes.
yay! Arizona Tantra Tribe, yay!
WhatsApp chat.
So good.
Yeah. Aaron heard us on a podcast, got on our mailing list. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. The reason that we put this together was so that we could communicate more clearly what it is we're up to. And so during today's web class, you're going to learn a few things. We're going to give you 3 secrets. One is what actually works when therapy doesn't. And then also what sabotages love, the common mistakes that are made, and we didn't even know that was happening. And then how to create the love you deserve. And so we're going to touch all of those things as we move through this webinar. So the first thing is to answer the question, well, who's this for? So who's it for, honey?
This is for anybody who's in relationship at this current time, like as part of a couple or a throuple, we don't care.
Yeah.
Like sometimes people have more than one love. This is also for people who are looking for love and feel like they've made mistakes in the past. And this is for those of you who want to fix your picker. So it really is, if you're a couple and you want to heat things up, or you want to stop arguing, you want to reconnect, you want to reignite some of your feelings for each other, this is for you.
Yeah.
It is not for couples or singles who aren't ready to take action and commit to real change. And believe me, we know people like that.
Yeah.
We have a friend who told us that they would call us when they hit a bump. And we said, wait a minute, we don't know any relationship that doesn't hit a bump. It's just a question of when. So why are you waiting? But
Yeah.
anyway, that's
Yeah.
it's a famous story of ours. Wait till you hit the bump. Ha ha ha.
Well, listen, and when you stay until the end, this is important to note. We're going to give you a free gift. We're really excited about this gift that will help you to discover some things about you in relationship or relationship to your new relationship. So stick around, okay? We got a couple of guidelines that we'd like to lay out for you. The first is turn off all your distractions. Get rid of everything that could cause you to not be present, okay? Cell phones, turn off your notifications, throw the kids out with pets, turn off your Xbox. So we want you to be present for this because this is going to be a dense experience for the next 2 hours. All right. And if you're up for that, put yes in the chat. Yes, I'm up for that. All right. Okay. So who are Lori Handlers and Michael Gibson? Well, we get asked this a lot.
Yeah, what do they think they know?
I don't know, but allow us to introduce ourselves to you. In fact, what I'd like to do is we do something a little different. We're going to introduce each other, but I'm going to introduce Lori, and then Lori will introduce me. So first of all, I want you to know that Lori Handlers is she's the general of the sexual revolution. She is the queen of emotional release. She has written 2 best-selling books.
They're back there.
Yeah, they're right behind us. She has produced and starred in 3 films that are award-winning films. She has been around the world teaching both tantra, sacred sexuality, shamanism, and really transformation. If you boil it all down, this woman is the queen of transformation. She is an extraordinary lover. She is my favorite person in the world. Please welcome to this webinar Mrs. Lori Handlers.
I welcome myself.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is my husband, Michael Gibson. So first of all, those of you who know me for a while know having a husband was never on the horizon. But this man won my heart. He is an extraordinary lover. He really just he prepared himself to be in relationship before meeting me. And he didn't even know that he had prepared himself because if you asked him, he would have said, I'm not very good in relationship. Don't take a risk with me.
Right.
So anyway, he was a network engineer, and then now he's a network engineer turned intimacy expert. You're amazing. We coached a few different couples this week, and I was quiet on the calls. He just took over and went for it. You are really, really brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you.
So this is my husband, Michael Gibson.
Hello, everyone. I just am so blessed to be with you and so excited to be here with you. So what qualifies us to teach this stuff, right? And kind of how did we come about it? I think it might give you some clues as to how to develop and create an extraordinary love on your own. So the first thing you need to know about us is that we're international facilitators. We've been around the world teaching extraordinary lovers. We have a program called the Extraordinary Lovers Experience. And inside of that experience, we have seen transformation in the way couples live and love. And what's really exciting is we've seen a bunch of singles come through our programs because we didn't want to exclude anyone at first, but then we started to see that how singles could learn how couples could work together was so powerful that it gave them hope. It gave them hope knowing that Lori and I met each other. I was 46 and she was 67. So we're a little bit later on in life, but guess what? It's still there for you. Don't give up. Love is still available to you. Okay? So we've been everywhere, like Mexico, Germany. We went to Montenegro one time. It was amazing. Honduras, Italy,
and multiple places in the U.S.
Denver and Phoenix, and where else, honey?
St. Pete.
Yeah,
And we were just in New York and Philadelphia
that was cool.
speaking about it.
So if
Yeah.
you're from New York or Philadelphia, welcome. We're glad you're on the call with us. And if you're somewhere else in the United States and you want us to come, drop a little note in there and say, hey, come out, join us. We'd love to see you. So in a relationship, in every relationship, we go through some things. And I think it's common knowledge that relationships follow a cycle. So oftentimes, what you're looking at is the cycle of it's harmony to disharmony to repair. So it's kind of like this circle: harmony, disharmony, and repair. And oftentimes, what we don't have is the skills to move from disharmony to repair back to love or harmony. And we focus on that. That's what's different about us. So the question is, what have you tried in the past? Are you in a relationship right now? Is it going great? Yeah. Exciting for you. Is it a struggle? Are you finding yourself not as enthusiastic as you were when you first got together, potentially? And if that's the case, then oftentimes what will happen is we'll go and look for support, right? Therapy, we'll go to couples conferences. Lori and I have done this. We've been to all kinds of transformational stuff. And, then there are the books and the coaching and the dating apps. And it all leaves us with this underlying knowledge that, something, I don't think we were really taught how to be in relationship.
We weren't. We were taught, I don't want to go into my
Well,
rant about him yet.
let's talk about this for a second.
Okay.
We believe that couples are an endangered species. And the support for that really comes from the statistics that we found.
Right.
I mean, you all have heard, 50%, something like 43% of first marriages end in divorce.
Well, the statistic used to be 52, but less people are getting married these days. So the numbers went down in the statistics.
As of 2008, that's a real statistic. As of 2008, first marriages are down 20%.
And second marriages, the divorce rate is 60 to 67%. So it's like people didn't even get it right in their second round. And third marriages is worse. It's up to 73% of people who fall out of love, get divorced, and their third marriages. And I'm thinking to myself all the time, why did you do it the third time? Did you get any better at it? Were your skills better?
I don't mean to be laughing, but it's like, yeah. I used to say all the time, I love marriage. I think it's wonderful. I just can't stand the divorce part. And I think people who've been through 3 marriages know what that feels like. Look, it's not just look, that's just people who bothered to tie the knot, right? Those statistics are just for people that we know about that actually got married. What about the people that are single? Did you know that 70% of people, according to dating apps, 70% of people who download those apps, they delete them after 3 months out of frustration, sheer
Right.
frustration.
Right.
And
They feel demoralized.
yeah. What they don't tell you is that it's not like a dating failure. It's sort of like you're just falling into this rut of how you've always done dating and how you've always done loving. And so relationship for you is kind of it always finds its way into that sameness. And so, yeah, what's the struggle today is how do we get informed and educated so that the relationship that we have ongoingly is one that really fulfills one another.
And then isn't there, I mean, we could gather from the data that if we do nothing,
Yeah.
if we keep doing nothing and we don't learn new skills and we don't know how to repair, that we're going to probably fall into a 50-50 chance or greater that we're not going to be together in just a few years.
Yeah. Imagine if you had an extraordinary love life. Like, what would that look like? Imagine if you had an extraordinary love life, right? Where anytime you got up against it with your partner, where it was crunchy, it was a struggle, it might be a problem. If you had the ability to move through those crunchy moments, remember those times where you feel like, oh man, if only you could have saved a relationship.
If only I had a magic wand.
Yeah. Just think about that. So here's a great quote. Lori, is your favorite quote in the whole world.
Oh, this is a quote from the Beatles.
Yeah.
I quote this all the time when people ask me. It's uh, s- from a song where they say, "And in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make." So everywhere you go, there you are. So if you're not making love, what are you doing? Making more?
So, what constitutes an extraordinary love life? And we just want you to know what we do that's not therapy. Like, we don't do therapy, and it's not like a communication workshop, although communication is a huge part of what we teach. And it's also not just another retreat. What we do is a bold new way of loving. It's actually, we've decided that this is the movement that we want to create in the world today, because love, right, can be an expression of a couple, of a partnership. And so we're dealing with sacred intimacy. We're not just solving problems, we're actually creating an entirely new way of loving, an upgrade to what we didn't even learn in the first place. And so this is your opportunity. You could create I love this, a life where seduction is a team sport, passion is intentional, and connection is a daily ritual. Yeah. Well, listen, after we became a couple, we found something out.
We found out that we were all brainwashed into believing that there was a thing called happily ever after. Now, I've been to about 45 countries around the world. I've taught in most of them. And I can tell you that most people have been brainwashed by Walt Disney. In every language, there's Cinderella. I mean, oh my God. So Walt has this big hold on most of us. Someone's supposed to come. I'm supposed to be really dressed up in a big gown.
Mhm.
I have on one shoe, and some prince is supposed to come in and give me my other shoe and ride me off into the sunset on a white horse. And I believed it. And most of the people that I know
How
believed
many
it.
of you believe that?
I believed it. I thought, and then if I found the one, we were going to live happily ever after. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
And so we're brainwashed to think that. And then it doesn't work that way. Like, nobody knows how to live happily ever after. We weren't taught any skills.
Yeah.
We were taught everything else in school. I think I don't use algebra and geometry, but probably I do. And I was taught how to speak French. I don't really use that. I'm learning Spanish now. But even that, nothing about that helps me be in relationship with you.
Yeah.
Not a thing. So there is no such thing as happily ever after, Walt, Mickey, and Minnie. And it makes me so mad because I feel that people want to be seen, held, cherished, adored, and they don't know how to do that. They don't know how to do that to and with each other.
Right.
So
So much history there.
so much,
Yeah.
so
So,
much, and all the rock and roll I listened to taught me how to be codependent.
right. Well, here's what happened to us. So we would hit moments of like conflict, like we would hit that bump that Lori talked about just a while ago.
We did.
And because it happens in every relationship. But here's the difference. We would work through those things, and it was almost natural. It was like how we dealt with these things certainly had to do with some of the training that we've been through. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But every time we hit a bump, we returned to love. And we were like, why don't more people know how to do that? Because we'd go out with other couples and they'd like be fighting and bickering right in front of us. And we're out to have dinner and have a good time. And it felt like we were in a counseling session and we were the counselors. You know what
I
I
always
mean?
felt like they should have paid for dinner.
Right?
We were giving them coaching and having them stop argue.
Yeah,
It was no fun.
it was no fun. And then something happened. And we had a we had a falling out and it was big. So we were talking like every day. You remember what it's like to really be in, like, you start to fall in love
You
with
meet
someone,
somebody,
you
fall in
meet
love.
someone, and it's juicy, and you can't wait to text and talk and all the things. Well, that's how it was going for us. And then one night, Lori, we agreed to have a call after she was going to this biohacking thing. Like she's really into super longevity and biohacking and living very healthy, which is why she's like so amazing. And the lusty bunny honeymoon phase, come on, girl. You know that's right. So she calls me up on her way home from this meeting that she had been to, and I'm on the phone, but I'm kind of busy. I'm kind of like texting somebody is a friend of ours, mutual friend of ours, and she's like, "What is going on here?"
I said, "You're not even paying attention to me. You're not present. So, and you asked me to call you, so I'm hanging up. I know I'm just hanging up. I know how to take care of my emotions. I'm pissed off."
Mm.
And I hung up the phone on him. And the next day he called me before, he didn't text or anything. He called me and he said, "I need to tell you something. I apologize for last night. I wasn't emotionally available." And I said, "Who trained you?" No man that I've ever been relating to in my whole life has ever called me and said, "I'm sorry, I take responsibility for not being emotionally available. You're transformed." And then he said to me, "Yeah, I studied with Allison Armstrong." And I went, "Oh, that's really good."
Right. The point of that story is that I had learned in my life how to be present. And I recognized after she hung up on me, told me she was just going to go take care of herself, how not present I was. And so the next day I had to become responsible for that instead of trying to be, um, instead of gaslighting her and saying, "Oh, come on, it wasn't that big." Like I could have done that. The truth is that she meant something to me at that point, and she was really becoming someone important in my life. And so I really did. I called her up and I said, "Listen, I need to take responsibility. I know that I was emotionally unavailable last night. I'm sorry. Can we start over?" And she said yes. And that shifted for me from being from having a tragic experience at the very beginning of our relating to actually learning what it means to be in love, right? To call myself out. So the funny thing is making up seems to be really hard to do, doesn't it? Anybody relate to that? Anybody relate to um, getting over it? Yeah. Yeah, the big piece of humble pie. Absolutely, Alexa. So when that happens, this is where what we're talking about is missing in culture. We've not been taught how to come back from the edge, how to return to love. And today we're going to talk about that. So the interesting thing about this is Lori and I, we didn't create the workshop Extraordinary Lovers because we were struggling and we had this massive, you know what I mean? Like there was this huge breakdown and crushing life and all that stuff. And then, oh, we had this amazing experience. We started that way. We started with this amazing experience and we were seeing all the pain around us. Now, Lori has this vision of the world. Do you want to say it? Women and men.
Yeah, my vision
Yeah.
statement. My vision is women and men dancing in eternal ecstasy on earth now. And this has been my vision since 1993. Every single thing that I do fits under this vision or I don't do it. And Michael read my book. It's up here behind us. Not the one with the big sex on the cover, the other one, the more orangey one.
Yeah.
He read the book. It's called Sex and Happiness, The Tantric Laws of Intimacy. And he read the book and he read my vision and he realized that he could live in that. He could take that vision on for himself and he could live in that vision. So he started to work his life out such that it started to mirror
Yeah, I
my
organized.
life. You organized yourself around
Yeah.
my vision and the laws that you found out that I was living.
And we've since expanded that.
Mm.
And yeah, what's interesting is that what we see when we look into the world is not that. We see women and men living in eternal misery
Hell.
on earth now. And it's like, no, that's not what we're up to. That's why we created what we've created here, the Extraordinary Lovers Experience. Now,
Because we think couples are an endangered species,
right.
just like turtles and tigers. Just as important.
Yeah. So we did everything that you've done when it comes to trying to have a good relationship. We've done the therapy. Lori, remember that you told me about this, one of the doctors that you went to go see who gave you the best advice in life.
Oh, yeah.
You're like,
I was in a bad relationship. Yeah, I was in a crazy relationship. I was working at Landmark Education and I had lower GI issues. I'm going to say I had irritable bowel syndrome, but it wasn't diagnosed as such. A doctor said to me, "That's what you have, but I'm not going to put it on your records." So that was like a regular MD. So I went to my first naturopath ever. And the naturopath said to me, "Tell me your symptoms." I told him everything. And then he said, "Well, what do you love to do?" And I said, "I love to dance. Dancing is really important to me." And then he said, "Well, I have a prognosis for you. I know this is my prescription." I said, "What?" He said, "Quit your job, break up with the guy, and go dancing. Dance all the time, and then you'll recover." So I did everything he said, and I recovered very soon. I didn't have IBS anymore. I don't have it now. And like, yeah, that was the best advice a doctor ever gave me.
I mean, I got a little bit different advice. I was married for 16 years. My wife and I at the time were not getting along. I think 10 years the relationship had been over. It was like you just know, but it was the comfort of knowing your own misery is more palatable than totally not knowing what's
The
next.
unknown.
The unknown was terrifying. So I stayed in the relationship for an extra 10 years. And the last therapist we went to go see, he told me, he said, I don't see you guys living this out another 3 months. And truth is, 3 months later, she left. And I was like, wow. But that therapist didn't help us to solve those problems. The books I'd read, and I'd read many, didn't help to solve the problem. And so Lori and I were like, well, that doesn't work. What does? And so we created something called the Extraordinary Lovers Method. And we didn't know it, but we were kind of we were living into it. And as it started to unfold before us, then we discovered like, oh my God, this makes total sense. So what makes total sense? This is kind of the layout.
Well, we said it works. This can work.
So what we did is we looked at, well, how is love expressed and received and felt? Well, the first thing that we need to deal with is self-love. So we have three pillars inside of this Extraordinary Lovers method, and they are self-love, partner love, and love that manifests. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. Self-love is so important. And we don't spend enough time, I think, really looking at, am I loving myself? Okay, maybe you are, but is it extraordinary? Have you taken it that extra step? Have you done just a little extra? Lori, explain what extraordinary love is.
Extraordinary love is love on purpose. So there's only one way to feel love, and that's if oxytocin is running through your body. Oxytocin is one of those, is it a peptide?
Mhm.
Is a peptide, I think it's a peptide, that runs through your body and makes you feel, loved. You can feel it with your pets, and you can feel it with your partner, and you can feel it with a child. Or if you're the child, you can feel it with a parent. Oxytocin is what allows us to feel the experience of feeling loved.
Yeah.
And so, extraordinary love is love that causes oxytocin in your body. It's science. It's not woo woo. Like you have to feel it to feel loved.
Yeah. And doing things consciously to produce that oxytocin in your other because you love them, but doing it for yourself as well. Okay. So the three pillars are absolutely crucial to this method. So the next thing that happened to us was we were in this amazing love thing that was going on, and we were living these core teachings, even though we didn't really put words to them or know what that was. And then we decided that we had a real future together. And that real future looked like what we're doing right now. And so I asked Lori if she would marry me. And Lori said yes. And this would have been my second marriage, but Lori's first.
Yeah, I didn't really have a lot of faith or belief in marriage. And
Yeah.
I was living just fine without it. So
Yeah.
then when he asked me, I thought it was a trick. Like I was like, what? Marry you?
Oh man. Well, and so 2 years later, we got married. And then what came next blew our minds. So the picture on the left is Lori and I after we had completed our vows and kissed.
There's some people on this call that were
That
there.
there, yes.
Yes,
Yeah. Let us know if you were there in the chat.
Farn was.
Yes. At the reception, we were sitting there eating, and I'm listening in on this conversation that Lori is having with a dear friend of hers, Dr. Judy Koryansky. And Dr. Judy says to Lori, "So, Lori, what are you up to now?"
I said, Michael and I are working with couples. And she said, no kidding. Like, what do you mean? Like, what are you doing with them? And I said, you see that couple over there? I started to point to the people that were at the wedding. And I said, you see that couple over there? They're still together because they worked with us. We worked with them. You see that couple over there? Oh my God, they were on the verge of a divorce when we met them. And look at how happy they are. They're jumping around. And look at that. You see that couple over there? They got married because they did a course with us. And all of a sudden we started to realize that like we were surrounded by people that had been working with us and whose relationships we had really saved or improved or made so juicy again that they could be together. And Judy was blown away.
I was in tears. That happened. And so 2 years later, earlier this year, that next picture that you see to the right is Lori and I hosting our first Tantra festival in Tulum, Mexico. And we've been to this Tantra festival 3 times, I think, otherwise as teachers.
No
And
more.
and then we were invited to come and host. And it was so remarkable because we had been there for the other ones, and there was always some kind of drama going on and some kind of craziness happening, and upsets here and upsets there. When Lori and I held this Tantra festival, and there's a lot of moving parts in a Tantra festival. I don't know if you know. You have the teachers, you have the participants, you have people that are called love angels that are taking care of everybody. There are all these different parts that need to be,
And there's the technology assistance as well.
all these different moving parts that need to really be working together cohesively to create this amazing experience. And at the end of it, they came to us and said, wow, we have never experienced a Tantra festival that moved so smoothly, that was so held,
No drama.
no drama. And they said, you really held the space, the two of you as a couple, as a partnership. And it showed us something. It showed, look at what can happen when love manifests. And that's what I mean by love that manifests. It's not just, oh, what a great looking relationship y'all have. That's wonderful. You're so loving. No, you will do things that will change the world as a couple. It's possible. So, what happened next? Well, we started to put together the rest of it, and so this is the Extraordinary Lovers method in its totality. It's 3 pillars. It's 4 practices that creates an extraordinary partnership. Really simple. So each of the 4 practices are, you can do them in each one of the 3 pillars, and they are emotional clearing and repair, embodiment and presence, ritual and sacred communion, and intimacy expansion. So often we hear about relationships that become sexless. Didn't you read an article about one?
Yeah, in let's see, 2004.
Right.
On the cover of Newsweek magazine, there was a picture of, it didn't show the faces. It was like a cartoon of someone holding the remote and the other person having their laptop in their lap, and they were in bed. And the cover story was called DINS, DINS, double income, no sex couples.
Mm.
And so I said, I didn't know you then, but I said, I'm going to change this. I'm going to combat DINS. And so, and I didn't expect to meet you. I was going to do it on my own. But anyway, I met you and you took it on as well.
Yeah. So we've had all these experiences. We found ourselves moving towards this new life together as a married couple, and it was really exciting. And then we started to look at, well, what if this was more than just a program that Lori Handlers and her new husband put together for couples? What if it became a global movement? And that's where we started to focus. So it isn't just a workshop, it's a global movement. Look, we've worked with everyone from newlyweds to couples that are, decades together, to polyamorous students. One of our favorite set of students, you'll get to see a video from them later on, and they're poly. We've also had singles that are looking for love and have found love in some of our programs. And we've also worked with couples that needed to end their relationships. And they were able to do it in a loving way so that trauma wasn't what they were taking in to their next relationship. Because this method works. It works all around the world. So we've invested decades, literally, and 100,000 each, probably more, to learn what it is to be solid communicators and to be able to regulate our experiences, our emotions. And we've learned the hard way. And so because you're here today, you get the easy way. So we're going to take you through some of the hard way, and we're going to talk about how to make that better. Okay. So we've got 3 secrets why relationships fail. The first one is why traditional couples counseling fails and what actually works. And then we'll talk about the phenomena that sabotages every relationship. How many of you would like to hear that? Yeah. And then the last secret is there's a ritual framework that keeps passion alive. It doesn't matter how busy your life gets, you can use this, and you can use it at each time. So, secret number 1, why traditional couples counseling fails and what actually works. So, if couples therapy actually worked, we wouldn't be seeing divorce rates so high. So, traditional counseling is more about talk therapy. There's a lot of information around how to deal with trauma from the past. There's parts work, there's family of origin work, and all that is valuable. Yes. But a lot of it spends time in the past and doesn't do anything really about this present moment that you're dealing with. And so part of what we do that's very important is we look at what's happening now and how does that impact our future? We want to keep the future in mind. So the 4 practices is how we do that. Emotional clearing, repair, embodiment and presence, ritual and sacred communion, and intimacy expansion. This is where we spend most of our time working with our couples and our singles.
So we give people practices and tools that they can use.
Yeah.
Then the idea is to use them.
Yeah. One of the couples, I'm going to take a real quick story here. One of the couples that we had came to our Santa Fe Extraordinary Lovers Experience. When you see ELE, that means Extraordinary Lovers Experience. But I'll never forget, the husband came to me after day 2 and he said, this is the first time in years that I felt her, like I've actually felt her. He said, we spent 6 years in therapy, and I got to be honest with you, we've gotten more out of the 4 days in this ELE than we did in the 6 years. It's like we actually got to experience what it is to be in love again. It's touching, and it's why we do the work we do. So the first one is emotional clearing and repair. How do you solve that experience that comes on when you have an upset, a problem arises. How many of you know what the tone is?
I know what the tone is. I have a tone. First of all, I'm from New York. And second of all, I have a tone and I reserve it for the people that I'm the most intimate with. I would never use the tone on somebody who hardly knows me. But I don't think it's conscious, like it just comes out. So everyone has a tone that I know of.
So
Yeah.
one of the things that we're going to share with you in our program is how to clear those emotions and then how to repair so that you get beyond it quickly. The second thing that we do is the embodiment and presence. So a lot of times what we're finding is that couples, they kind of get in a rut and there's no real presence. There's no dropping in with each other anymore. And when you can drop in with your partner, that creates something that is absolutely, it's transformative. It creates safety. It creates connection. It creates communication. And more importantly, it creates this desire for loving presence. Incredibly important.
Presence is so, so important.
Yeah.
It really is. And so we spend a lot of time working on that.
And Lori, presence we teach through tantric practices, breath, sound, and movement. And Lori is the queen of, she is the goddess of tantra practices. And you're going to get a little taste of that a little bit later. So yeah, I love that part. The next practice is rituals and sacred communion. How do you bring rituals into your relationship that are unique to you? What if you had a framework by which you could create a ritual at the drop of a hat that would create something special inside of your relating that nobody else has? That's a tool that, believe me, will change your relationship. And the last practice, of course, is intimacy expansion. You want to talk about that?
Intimacy expansion really has to do with inside of a ritual space. How do you connect and be intimate? How do you make any moment intimate, or how do you increase your loving skills?
Yeah.
And your loving skills, like Michael's done studies on this, and he's found that he likes to say that he's going to tell on men that men think they need a lot of technique, but in fact, they really need presence and then to be present and expand from there rather than
Yeah.
from some technique or skill they heard about.
Well, it's funny. The first time we were together, you paid me a compliment, and it was funny because
Yeah, I said, "Where did you learn how to touch a woman?" And he said to me, "What?" I said, "Where'd you learn how to touch a woman? You touch me better than any man that I've ever known. And I hang around with all these Tantra guys, and they don't touch me the way you touch me. Where did you learn?" And you said to me, "I Googled it." I was like, come on.
what you don't know is that I'm a former network engineer. So
I said that already.
if I needed to learn something, I would Google it. Right? This is back when Google first.
Now you can, now you
Now you
ask
chat
chat,
GPT.
right. Chat, how do I touch a woman? Let's see what chat says.
Work with Michael Gibson. I hope. I wish chat would say that.
Ways to like creating date nights or creating meetings, important meetings to talk about things instead of just getting into arguments. It's all the people that I know pretty much would set a business meeting for something they wanted to take care of in business, but they don't seem to do that in their personal relationships as if they're not as important, but they're more important.
Yeah.
So setting a meeting with somebody to have some kind of a clearing session or to get over some grievances or some way that like you missed each other's step.
Yeah.
It's really, really important. We also teach body mapping and sensual ceremonies.
Hmm. So that is what makes us different, really, from traditional therapy. So we're going to move on to secret number two.
Oh, also, wait a minute. You didn't mention that you're trained as a relational life
Therapy.
therapy.
I'm in training to become a certified relational life therapy coach through Terry Real. And Terry is my mentor. I have great respect for him and the work that he's done. And so that's one of the other things that we've implemented. We're growing in that way. So
Yeah.
and I don't want to toot my own horn too much around that because
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
certified yet.
Doesn't matter. You're really good
I'm
at
working.
it. No kidding.
Um, secret number two. Are you ready for this? So this is the phenomena that sabotages every relationship, and it's called the three R's. And the three R's, whew, it's resentment, resistance,
Resistance and
and
revenge.
revenge. And Lori says there's a fourth R, but it's not like a fourth R, like it's more like an overarching fourth R that
Righteousness.
you'll find inside of all of the other three R's.
Being
Okay?
right about how wrong your partner is.
Yeah, yeah. So before we get into the three R's, let's just talk for a moment about what is it like to be in love? Do you remember? Do you remember what it's like to be in love? Like really in love, that
Mhm.
juiciness that you can't wait to be with that person. The fact that you could be touching, yes, the tingle, to be looked in, like to be seen, to be met, to be held by that person who, for some reason, some crazy reason, looks at you like you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I have that experience, and it's just magical, isn't it? In love. I want you to connect, if you would, for just a moment, to what it felt like, what it feels like to be in love. Let that sink in. Doesn't it?
Well, do you want to know where they feel it in their body?
When you feel it, where does that show up in your body? Oh, let's go back to the start. Yeah. Yeah. Where would you say you feel that in your body? So the first thing you could do is really point to it, right? And then the second thing you can do is write it in the chat. Where do you feel it when you feel in love? What part of your body gets that experience the most? Okay, write that in the chat. All right. Stomach, butterflies. Ooh, yeah. My belly for sure. And the core. Yeah. Thank you, John and Victoria. That heart connection. Oh, it's so good. Chest. And thank you, David. Yeah. The front of your heart and your chest. Yes. Yeah. Oh, it's wonderful, isn't it? Doesn't it feel good? I love
Yeah,
that.
it feels like skipping up the street and tingly all over. And oh my God, so much excitement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you get that text, you're like, oh, all right. It's like this giddiness,
Thinking of me right now.
a little bit of giddiness and silliness and whatnot, and everything is shiny and pretty and beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, warmth spreading through your chest. Oh yeah. So that's what it feels like to be in love. Yeah. And then something happens. And when that something happens, chances are we find ourselves in the first R. And that first R is resentment. Now, as I say this, I want to say, first of all, that the three R's sabotage every kind of relationship, not just loving relationships. As we talk about this, you'll be able to map it over relationships that you've seen fall apart with parents, with siblings, with friends, with colleagues, inside companies. You'll see this. It's insidious. It's sort of this human madness that takes over. But the first thing is resentment. And so the question is, what causes resentment? And the answer to that question is it's often because we feel like we didn't say what we needed to say in the moment that it would have made the most difference, like it would have had the biggest impact. Not mean, but just saying your truth, you know? Like, oh, I didn't say it. And
Or
because you
or
didn't say it,
speaking a boundary.
right, speaking a boundary, that's your truth. saying, I'm not okay with this. That's your truth. And so then what happens is we take resentment and we put it in a bucket called the resentment bucket. And over time, resentment builds up. As it builds up, you start to find yourself in the next R called resistance. Now, the first thing that I want to do is, before we move on to resistance, is to say, take that same finger and point it to that spot on your body where when you feel resentment, you know that's it. For me, it's right here.
For me, it's lower.
Yeah. And then type that in. Type that into the chat. Yeah. Where you feel that. So let me give you an example. You ever been out at a party, some social gathering, you're having a great time, it's a lot of fun. And then that one person walks in and you feel it. Oh, so point right there. Where's that? Yeah, heartbroken, fiery in the core. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you feel it, right? It's physical. It's sort of like a whoosh. It's like, oh, yeah. And now automatically you're no longer in love.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you, honey.
Thanks.
You're no longer in the love. You're now in resentment. And you're just one step outside of love. And again, if it's left unattended and you don't deal with it and you don't speak your truth, oftentimes what will happen is it'll become resistance. And that is the second R. So we're going to do a quick physical exercise. It's going to take just a second to illustrate what that feels like. Resistance. Okay. So resistance is literally like if you're trying to put the back of your hand on your partner's shoulder and they're trying to put the back of their hand on your shoulder, like that's what they're trying to do. And you're just like this the whole time. you know, and the war sounds like, well, you always and you never, right? It's resistance. And sometimes it shows up as sarcasm. And sometimes it shows up as just a willingness or an unwillingness to be in a loving space with your partner. Like, hey, you want to go to the movies? No,
No,
no, thanks. You want to go dancing? I don't think Lori would ever say no to that, but she might. She might be like, if she was in resistance, she'd be like, no, I'm not going anywhere with you. We had a couple on the call the other day and they illustrated it perfectly, being out together and having had a blow up and resistance was right there. Like, I didn't like the way you talked to me, but I didn't say anything about it. This happened enough times. I just don't want to talk to you.
yeah, I know. And she kept leaning in and he kept
Leaning away.
leaning away.
Anybody relate to that? The leaning away. Right? And no matter how much you lean in, they keep leaning away. It's that resistance. Yeah. And left unattended, resistance becomes revenge. This is the place that ends relationships. It is incredibly dangerous. And I mean that in the physical sense. This is where domestic violence happens. This is where, well, look,
Revenge and retaliation happened.
you have an example.
I
of
have an
this.
old
So,
story about this. A friend of mine came home from work and the house was empty. And his wife must have been planning it for a long time. There was no furniture left, there was no dogs, there was no kids, and there had been five of them, that no one was home. There was nothing in the house. He called me up and he said, I'm standing in an empty house. I can't believe it. I'm so hurt.
yeah, yeah.
Very vengeful.
And you got to think about this. For that to have happened, she had to have collaborated with probably her mother and some siblings and friends and called the moving company
And the
to come.
kids.
And the kids knew about it and the dog knew about it, like, and in reality, it's such a madness that takes us over. It brings us to a place where we're not thinking anymore. We're just finding ways to
Get 'em.
cause harm.
Yeah, I'll get you.
And sometimes it looks like causing sabotage and harm to ourselves so that this is the craziest part we can attack from the victim position. Look what you made me do.
Oh no.
I just want to take a moment. There are plenty of women right now that are in safe houses because a man said, "Look what you made me do."
Mm.
That's revenge. It's not a laughing matter. And what you need, can you come out of it? Can you come back from revenge? I think you might could, but it's going to take an intervention. It's going to take serious help. Lori and I do an intervention like that called relationship rescue, but there are qualifiers to whether or not we'll work with that couple because it's dangerous.
Hmm.
So that's revenge, the 3 R's. So, where are you? Take a moment and think about it. Where are you in the matter of the 3 R's? Are you in love? Oh, we celebrate you if you're in love. Are you in resentment? Perhaps resistance. Hopefully not revenge.
Hope not.
So just take a moment and check in with yourself. You don't have to put anything in the chat for this. Really check in with yourself. And we've got some good news for you. We got something for you, something special for you. We got a tool for you. Who's ready for a tool? Say me in the chat. Me, I'm ready for a tool. Yeah. Or say tool. Yeah. There it is. Yes.
Please,
Me.
please, me a tool.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Lori is going to give you a tool. Yes.
I'm going to give you the witness.
Mhm.
You're going to go out of the way.
I'm going to step out of the way because I want them to focus on you.
All right.
Okay.
Well, they're going to close their eyes in a minute, but I'm going to give you the witness, which, if meditation had a goal, which it really doesn't, but if it did, or Tantra or anything that way, it would be the witness to be able to see yourself as you're being who you're being. So, for example, for me, I'm talking to you now on a screen and on a Zoom call, and I can see myself from inside my witness teaching, talking, being with, and I can also experience myself like my knees are crossed. So I'm uncrossing my knees. My breath is a little bit shallow, but it's going to get deeper in a moment. And I'm going to sit really straight in my chair. And I'm going to notice myself as I'm doing whatever I'm doing. And the witness will help you to identify what's actually going on for you for real, like in your feelings and in your body, like what are you feeling at any given moment? And it will also help you. If you're witnessing yourself, you can buy yourself 1 second of time. Sometimes I've had to do that before engaging mouth. So it's a very useful tool. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to close your eyes for a moment. If it's comfortable for you, if it's not comfortable for you to close your eyes, then just lower your eyes. So you're not looking at the screen. And don't pick up your phone. Just like be with self right now. And with your eyes closed, I'm going to ask you to notice your breathing. Start breathing a little bit more in through the nose and then a little bit more out through the mouth. So you're inhaling through the nose and you're exhaling with sound through the mouth a little bit more than you usually let go of and a little bit more than you usually take in. And keep consciously breathing like that as we go through this. And the next thing I'm going to do is ask you to send your awareness down to where you sit. So place your awareness down onto your butt cheeks, and where you're making contact with the chair that you're in or on the mat that you're on, and make contact with that first chakra. And just notice what's happening there. This area is also your anus, your anal sphincter muscles, your tailbone. And this area has to do with safety and survival. So notice what's happening there for you. Do you feel anything? Do you feel swirlies, tinglies? Do you feel open, closed, hot, cold? Maybe you feel nothing. Maybe you feel some pain. I don't know, but whatever it is, acknowledge what it is, and then take a little snapshot. For those of you who are younger than me, take a selfie. Good. And then let go of the awareness of what's happening there. Move up to your sex area now, your second chakra, and notice what's happening there. When I just say your sex chakra, do you feel a little bit aroused? Do you feel pleasure or pain? Do you feel something or nothing? Do you feel hot, cold, tight, loose? Maybe numb, whatever you're feeling. Your sex chakra has to do with pleasure, pain, and the memories thereof. So anything from the past that reminds you of anything, that's what's happening in your sex area. And take a snapshot there or a selfie, and we'll keep moving. Again, I want you to just witness what's happening in your body with your eyes closed and with you conscious breathing. Also notice if your brain, your mind is saying anything to you like, oh, I thought I would feel different here. I thought this should be different. And you can acknowledge your mind, but like stay with what's happening actually in your body and let your mind know, thank you. Great, I'm moving on. Now bring your awareness up to your belly, solar plexus, your third chakra, and notice what's happening here. Do you feel tight or loose? Do you feel airy and spacious? Or do you feel blocked there? Usually people feel blocked or they feel airy. Those are the two things that normally happen in the third chakra. This set of issues has to do with power, powerlessness, feelings, being able to feel and express whatever it is that you're feeling, and self-esteem. So that's what's happening in this third center. And just notice whether you feel a block or whether you feel open, spacious, like there's plenty of room there. And then bring your awareness. Or did I ask you to take that snapshot or that selfie there? Please do that. Good. Keep breathing, consciously breathing, making a sound as you exhale. Ah. And then bring your awareness to your heart. This chakra has to do with compassion, generosity, having feelings towards all sentient beings and maybe even the whole world and everything that exists in it, sentient or non-sentient. Now, most people feel here either weighted down, like their heart has weights on it, or the opposite, they feel so light in the heart that their heart feels like it has wings and that it can fly away. So I'm not sure where you are. Notice to see what, in fact, is the feeling in your heart, and take that picture of that area. And now let go of that, and we move up to the throat. And everybody swallow. And notice if swallowing felt easy or difficult, if you felt like you had an obstruction in your throat, or if it felt somewhat easy to just swallow. This area has to do with sharing and speaking your truth, sharing your creativity with others through speaking, through singing, through humming, through chanting. So where are you in your throat? Is it blocked? Or do you feel this open channel to be able to speak your truth? And take some kind of a snapshot here, noting what's happening in your throat center. And now allow your awareness to come up to your third eye, your eyebrow center. Your eyes are closed. With your eyes closed, do you see anything? Or do you just see darkness with your eyes closed? Is it just dark in there, or do you see colors? And if you see colors, do you see swirling things, swirlies and spinning and different things? Do you see patterns and colors in your third eye, or do you just see darkness? And make a note of that too by taking a snapshot. And finally, bringing your awareness up and around your head as if you had a halo. What do you experience when you send your awareness to your crown chakra? Do you feel an opening to all the rest of the universe and the rest of the cosmos? Or do you feel like there's a lid on you or a cloud around you? That's usually what people feel, a cloud, a lid, or just openness, open to everything there is in the entire universe. And take that snapshot. And when you've taken that snapshot, now go back and look to see where in your body were you unable to feel something? Were you unable to, was it blocked? Or where in your body did you have a lot of feelings? Something that you might have a lot of expression.
Lovely. Thank you.
Thank
It
you.
was beautiful.
Yeah, you kind of got lost in it. So when you didn't
was
come
like-
back, I thought, okay, I'm
I
moving
was
on.
sitting right over there doing it.
I better move on to the next piece. And then you were like, oh, we don't have to do that right
Oh
now."
yeah, this is a whole meditation,
Yeah.
and we do this in the Extraordinary Lovers Experience. You'll get a chance to experience that. It's fantastic, Lori. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So inside of this is this piece that Lori just shared with you. I'm going to share the screen again. This gives you an opportunity to really check in. This is a tool that we use, that we teach, called the
The
witness.
witness.
And when you, let's say there is something that comes up that's like resentment creating, right? Somebody says something that's offensive or upsetting, or something happens. This gives you a moment where you can take this tool and you can look inside and go, where am I feeling that? We call it the whoosh. The whoosh is usually your first indicator that something's going on, right? Like, oh my God, like you got yelled at, or you were talked down to, or any number of things. Ignored, or just dismissed. And have you ever had somebody just walk out on you, right? Whoosh. That's the first thing that happens. And then the next thing that happens is, Lori and I do, is we take a moment and we look, where am I feeling that in my body? And then we can begin to assess, okay, I feel that here. And then we can move energy. Now that's another part of the
Extraordinary Lovers.
This meditation that we're teaching you. But this is how we go from emotional clearing to repair. So the whoosh gives us awareness, and the witness allows us to analyze what's happening to us. It's a wonderful tool. You know something, in fact, Claire, who just did our Denver 2025 ELE, she came back and she had some wonderful things to say about it. But one of the things I think that was really important was that she now feels so embodied. Like she can take what happens to her in her day to day, and she can actually understand it, work through it, and begin to practice feeling again. It's so incredibly important. Moving on to secret number 3, people need rituals. Rituals are so important. If you don't schedule love, life will schedule disconnection. So you need to schedule some time together. Okay. So this comes from our strategy framework practice number 3. It's rituals. And Lori, you said this once, and I wrote it down. Your love needs more than just chemistry. So true. So how does it work? Like, well, rituals, what do you mean? What are we talking about? Well, there are essentially four things that we teach: micro rituals, weekly devotional time, sacred communication check-ins, and then partnership visioning. And we're going to talk about all four of those. The first thing I want you to know is when it comes to rituals, sometimes you just got to do it. So when Lori and I first got together, I did not know about this thing that she uses called the bubble. So, so we're getting together and she says, okay, we're going to make a bubble. And I went, the what?
And I said, just humor me, we're making a bubble.
What's a bubble?
Now he makes a bubble all the time.
I thought we were going to get balloons. Anyway, so she taught me the bubble. Go ahead.
So the bubble creates a sacred space. We do it like this. I'm not going to teach the bubble just now, but we do a bubble around each other. And what happens when we do that is the rest of the world goes away and we're encased in sacred space. And that means that we're inside of our own bubble. So we made one before we came on this call with you. We made a bubble. And at the end of it, we'll pop the bubble. But for right now, we're in the bubble.
With, well, you're here too, but she and I are in our own separate sacred space. So what is a ritual anyway? A ritual has three components, really. The first thing is that rituals will separate ordinary reality from extraordinary reality or sacred reality, meaning that we're going to do something that's going to be a little bit different that changes the flow of the day. The second thing is that it creates a container and it's for a specific period of time. So it's intentional and it's compressed. And then the last thing is that it's meant to knit those together who are inside of that ritual. So if there's two people inside of a ritual, if there's one person in the ritual, it's supposed to knit that person together. If there's two people, if there's 10 people inside, there have been 150 people inside of a bubble before.
Yeah, we had that at that Tantra Festival.
Absolutely. So the container creates this way of causing the spiritual to rise up, to become part of the experience. And all of these components are an alchemy that transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. Okay. So, step one, micro rituals. These are daily 5 to 15-minute connection practices. Lori and I, every morning, we have a ritual first thing in the morning, right as we get up. And that is we snuggle.
The snuggling ritual.
It's a snuggle ritual. We snuggle. So I will now Lori and I sleep in different rooms, and I'll come and knock on her door and I'll climb into bed with her and I'll snuggle her, or she'll come to my room like she did this morning. And we just hold each other and we breathe together intentionally. We make sound, we move. Oh, it's really beautiful. 5 to 15 minutes. Now you can create your own micro ritual, but they should be daily practices, something that you do every day. The next one is weekly devotional time. Schedule an hour of intentional intimacy. Sometimes your life gets full, but it's 1 hour a week. And it could be lovemaking, or it could be dancing, or it could be, playing checkers. I mean, it could be anything, but spend that hour every week. Lori and I do something on Sundays called Straight Talk Sundays. And we'll get together and we'll just talk straight to each other, right? We're not like fixing anything or straightening anything out. Sometimes we're just talking straight about stuff that matters to us. And it's a beautiful devotional time for us once a week. We also do intimacy stuff as well. Okay. So the third one is sacred communication. These are quarterly check-ins. And this also is designed to create clarity and presence inside of your relating. So we do that at once every 3 months. And then finally, annual visioning. This is where you get together once a year and you look at what the next year is going to be like. Not only what was the last year about, but what is the next year going to become? So it helps you to realign on your love's purpose. You want to reflect on the past year, envision the year ahead, and align on your purpose together. So when Lori and I are talking about our purpose, we're always looking at women and men dancing in eternal ecstasy on earth now. And do we see it yet? No. Okay, we got work to do. We got work to do. Too much misery in the world. We got a lot of work to do. Let's get to it. Okay.
Too much blame.
Too much blame. And I have a question. I mean, if you had just a weekly devotional time, do you think you could have a little more success reigniting your love life? You know, it's not random. Passion is not random. It's intentional. So there are some things that Lori and I do. One of the things that we play with is a game called Seduction is a Team Sport. Oh boy. You want to know all about that, believe me. Okay. So that's the Extraordinary Lovers was really created for everybody who's interested. Couples who feel more like roommates and lovers, partners who tried therapy and they still feel stuck, singles who are trying to fix their picker. They're not sure how to get that right. We've had couples in crisis, and couples that are curious, of people that are just curious, like, how do I grow in love? How do I do that?
Or maybe how do I come back together and grow after I've raised children
Mhm.
and they left?
Yeah.
You know, they're out on their own now.
I just want to ask you a question. So far today, we've covered a lot of ground. A lot has been talked about. Everything from why traditional counseling doesn't work so well. We broke down the three pillars. We've talked about rituals and how they can make the relationship hot and juicy. But I got a question for you. How many of you could use some help with your relationship? Now stop thinking about our story. Think about your story. What's it like in your skin and bones experience right now inside your relationship? What if you had some support around that? You know, how many of you would love some help just putting it all into action? Like taking some of this and just, all right, show me how to do it, man. I just want to know how to do it. Because if that's you, I would, I, I would like to ask, is it okay if I just took a few minutes to walk you through a really special offer that Lori and I created just for you? And if that's okay with you, I'd like you to just put yeah, tell me what you got in the chat and make sure that we're seeing the chat. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yes. Oh, love it. Thank you, Carrie and Willis, John and Victoria. Absolutely. Okay, so let's get to it. Yes. Amazing. All right. So the extraordinary lovers. Um, there's a method behind the Extraordinary Lovers experience. And we're going to talk to you a little bit about the experience, which is our flagship program. It's a transformative 4-day immersive retreat, and that we hold an event in a special place. It takes you away from the world. It allows you to really be separated out so that you can do some work. And it's designed for couples and singles to deepen that understanding of love fully and what it means to them personally.
And can I just say something?
Mhm.
Because a lot of times when people hear singles, I don't want to go with a whole lot of couples. I'm going to feel weird there. And everyone has said that to us who's come as a single. And
Emily
they,
just asked that.
yeah, and they have had the most extraordinary time learning about themselves and how they pick and maybe pick differently. And then they've learned so much from interacting with other singles and with couples. So if you have that aversion, I just want to say to you that we are aware of it
Mhm.
and don't let that stop you. Every course we've had, pretty much, except for maybe one, we've had singles in it, and the singles have come. Well, in one case, some singles met in the course and they're still together. It's been 2 or 3 years now. They're living together and they're doing great.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that it's not like a place to meet necessarily. It's a place to really like hone your skills because if your picker is off, there's a reason. It's familiar. Same old relationship after relationship. You know, I've been there. I didn't meet this guy till I was 67. So believe me, I know that I was there the whole time in all those. relationships.
I was there as well. So our next Extraordinary Lovers is coming up in December 11th through the 14th. And I just want to take a moment here and let you know, yeah, Alexa is in the chat right now. Alexa knows about this. She was there where we had multiple singles, and she's in a couple, and they were there together, and she can share what it was like for her as a couple to see the singles working it out. And the singles were able to see the couples working it out. It's like, wow, that's so
It
inspiring.
was amazing.
It really is. It's unique. It's very unique. So over the years, Lori and I have watched couples walk into the extraordinary lovers experience, and they feel disconnected. There's turmoil in the relationship, and we see it over and over again. A transformation takes place, and then by the end of the weekend, they're no longer roommates. Like they're looking at each other with that, you know what I mean? Like they got that desire thing going on again, and they've worked out some of the emotional trauma that was inside the relationship that was kind of poisoning it, and it was released, and then they were able to finally come back to intimacy. That is the value and the power of the extraordinary lovers experience. They leave with tools that they actually use, like rituals that keeps the passion alive, and they've got this repeatable framework that it fits into real life.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me share a little more with you. So you get to reignite the spark. You get to build a partnership. You get to master sacred communication. This is what you'll be able to do. And you'll be able to transform resentment into connection.
And you'll be able to experience Tantra without the will. I am so not will. I'm really not.
Right. What else, honey?
You'll be able to explore intimacy and ritual space.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll leave with a repeatable framework, like things that you can repeat over and over again. You just have to remember you're going to do it together, and there's also support.
Yeah, absolutely. And then what you'll be able to replace is you'll be able to replace conflict with communication, and you can bring that emotional shutdown to an end where you can insert presence and openness and get deep emotional safety. That thing that might have been missing for so long. You also get rid of the stale routines and create these juicy rituals that will replace that. And you get to go from being roommates to lovers again. Yeah.
That sounds good.
And for singles, Alexa writes, you get to envision and learn tools for partnership becomes preventative. Waiting
So
for the
true.
bump. Yes, girl.
So true.
Yes. I'm going to throw a heart up there. So I want to share with you a video from one of our well, they're dear to us.
These.
They are a couple who we have not only worked with, but who came to our program, and let's just hear from them.
These are experienced facilitators. They're like no nonsense in the world.
Yeah.
And they came together.
And what brought you to the Extraordinary Lovers Experience weekend?
Extraordinary teachers.
Like, absolutely true. Yeah. This body of work that I've been watching Michael and Lori create over the past 6 years, but diving into really into the depths over the last 4 years, this co-creation is what brought me here.
And I'm a little newer to being exposed to your and Lori's work, but I've loved everything I've seen so far, and I'm just kind of in that give me more, more, more. Can't get enough.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But did you have any apprehensions before coming?
Absolutely not. So I have no apprehensions because truly I would follow Michael and Lori anywhere.
Yeah, I didn't have any apprehensions either. I mean, sacred sexuality and relationship coaching and personal growth is totally my cup of tea, and I'm immersed in this world already and doing this work for other people too, so as a facilitator and a guide. So for me, it was just thirst and interest to expand my repertoire.
Mm-hmm. And with that said, one of the things that brought me here is that I'm always curious to see what's going to open up when I'm in new spaces with new people, right? So like being here with Blake was a totally different experience than taking the online course. And although the online course is brilliant, I really wanted the in-person experience of being here and being with community and seeing what evolved and transpired. And there's always something more to uncover, right? So where I was 3 months ago is not where I am now, answering the same questions and looking at them through an entirely different lens of what I'm experiencing in the here and now.
Well said.
So, what did you think of the workshop?
Juicy, informative, practical, fun, a real icebreaker. You know, when I was really feeling into the room, you know, as I said, I'm not really sort of new to this work, but when I was feeling into the room and feeling people who chose to be here who were a little more at their edge, and watching them crack and thaw and giggle and melt into their own pleasure and expansion was really beautiful to witness. And I also just found it it just really delivered. Like, it gives you a lot of really useful stuff to take into your relationships, to take home to the bedroom, to even practice with yourself, that everyone can use.
I love the flow of the deepening of self-love, and then being able to weave like the expansion that occurs from spending significant amount of time on self-love, even though that's part of my practice in a big way already, being able to focus on that before opening up. Like, the entire room shifts. The entire room that comes in love with themselves on day 2 to be able to talk about what it's like to bring that to partnership is inspiring.
Agreed.
I am also incredibly inspired by the facilitators. And I'm not just saying that because I love them so much. The way that Michael and Lori facilitated this weekend was deep and beautiful and penetrating and vulnerable. And one of my favorite parts is watching the dance between the two and feeling the vulnerability that emerges and getting to witness this love, like this extraordinary love, and seeing it modeled. Even with being so close to them, it actually has created so much more of an understanding and insight into what's happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, you get to see behind the scenes quite a bit.
I do get to see behind the scenes quite a bit.
What is one thing that you're going to take into life because of this course?
I think the big takeaway that I'm sitting with today is ritualizing everything, you know, and really bringing that much more intention to even the things that feel easy, you know, like our lovemaking, for example. It's like, we don't need to do these practices every time, but if we did, it would just...
How much more is
How much
possible?
more is possible, right? It's like,
How could it get any better than this?
well, here's an answer.
Yeah, and it
Yeah,
has
yeah.
actually. Even like the past 3 days, the connection and the depth and where we've been going with each other and things that we.
Yeah, the connection, the depth, and the heat. Yeah, it's been epic. But yeah, there's a desire coming away from this weekend to just sanctify, like, even the things that we would do every day with ease and flow. It's like, all right, well, we have the ease and flow part. Let's just bring it up a click. Right?
The word that comes to me is possibility, not just for this relating, but really all of the relating that I do in my life, and really for what's possible for my clients. So I'm taking so many of these tools into, like, I'm thinking about so many of the couples that I'm working with, and just these tiny tweaks of what we've already been working with, and really bringing it forward. I consider myself a possibilitarian, and my mind has just been blown about what is possible.
That's awesome.
For the world, actually, what's possible for the world.
Ditto.
That's what we're about. So absolutely.
And you guys really are making this available, digestible, understandable, and fun and easy. You know, it's not this like far out thing that people are like, oh, I'm going to go to this wild workshop and it's going to totally blow up my life. Like, no, it's actually just going to enhance what you're already doing, what you already know, and give you the tools to take it into a really beautiful, expanded place.
And this is something that I've really been thinking about as I'm preparing to share both the online course, but also the Luxury Mexico Extraordinary Lovers Experience, is that I feel like I can share this with everyone. it's not so edgy as some of the work that I love to put myself into, but I know it's edgier for some couples that aren't ready to deep dive into something that is going to possibly disrupt their lives. Although, taken, like really, I mean, this will disrupt lives because if when I'm paying attention to these skills and these tools and these experiences and these rituals, it's the practice. It's like the low weights, high repetition.
We almost need a better word than disrupt. I think upgrade is the word for it. You know, come to a weekend like this
And upgrade your
and
relationship.
get a bunch
You're
of
relating.
upgrades and.
You know, I was going to ask you, what would you say to somebody who's considering to come, but you've really illuminated me, and that's something I would say to somebody. Well, what would you say to somebody who's on the fence and doesn't know, should I come to an Extraordinary Lovers Weekend?
If you want to upgrade your relationship,
Yeah.
go.
I'd say the same thing, and maybe to add to that is like you only live once. At least most people believe that, right? Do you really want to just settle for the love and sex life that you've always had? Or do you want to upgrade it? It's never too late. Bring it up. Feel your joy, feel your bliss, take it on.
Yeah, it feels like it's really about living into love fully.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael. It's been really brilliant.
Well, that is Blake and Brianna and dear friends of ours. This is what you're going to get from the Extraordinary Lovers Experience. Okay. The Extraordinary Lovers Experience is $34.97 value per person when you come. And the value, I think you can see, is incredible. And if you're a couple, it goes to $69.94. That's because we have to double the tuition there for you. But we asked the question, what else do you need to make sure you have the love you deserve? So we created something called the Love You Deserve package. And it includes the Extraordinary Lovers Experience, which you just heard about, but it also includes the Extraordinary Lovers Journey. And in the journey, this is where Lori and we looked at, oh my gosh, so often when people leave, they leave with the glow after this amazing experience that they've just had. Right?
It's hard to keep going. They forget.
Yeah.
They go back to normal life.
And they have the tools, but they haven't integrated the tools. And so what Lori and I did is we put together a way for you to be able to take the tools and bring them into your own life, into a new reality. So it's 6 weeks of group coaching. We do weekly Zoom calls after the program. We schedule you with 6 weekly group calls. You'll be with your cohort, the people that came, and a group of other extraordinary lovers who are also involved in their group coaching calls. And so you'll have exclusive access to online content, private online community that goes with this journey. You'll have support and accountability, and you'll have some advanced practices and integration exercises that we don't share in the workshop initially because it takes a little time for those to be taught. And you also have some downloadable resources and bonus content. And what people have to say about it is that they feel like, yeah, Kinsey, this was a couple who they were one of the, like every couple who would get into the always never fight. And now they find that instead of being in resentment resistance, they can return to love. They can return to the in love. And love this couple. Of course, there's Claire. She has figured out that pleasure is her birthright. And she's now open to love. She's single, but I got a feeling she's not going to be single for very much longer.
No, but it also influenced her business.
It did. It did. Made a big difference. And by the way, this is John and Christine. John and Christine from Florida. They were in our first Extraordinary Lovers Experience in St. Pete, Florida. And they were together 40 years at that point. We just helped them celebrate their 46th anniversary. And it was so incredible. But they've been married for a long time, and they didn't have any intimacy anymore. And it was because there were some roadblocks in the way. And when they were able to remove those roadblocks, they found themselves just not able to keep their hands off each other. It was really cool. So they have a wonderful relationship. So you're probably thinking, I don't know if I have time for this, right? Life gets busy, 6 weeks. I don't know. Truth is, yeah, there isn't such a thing as a right time. Every time is the right time. Janae and Claudius, they didn't know that it would be the right time, and they made it work. I mean, between having crazy work schedules, professionals, zero bandwidth, no extra time, they were able to put it together and make it work. And Claudius said he was a no at first. He was like, "No, I don't know if I can do this," but Janae said, "No, we're going to do it." And Claudius said, "You know what? This made all the difference in the world. Like, what if we didn't do this?" They have a relationship that they actually are so proud of. So, what are you going to get? Here's what you're going to get. The 4-day Extraordinary Lovers Experience is a $34.97 value. Again, you double that if you're a couple. The Extraordinary Lovers 6 Weeks Journey, which is another $24.97 value. Now, this would be for the couple, so it's not twice, it's just for the couple. And that total would be a value of $59.94 or $94.91 if you're a couple. So then we thought about, well, what else do you need to make sure you have the love you deserve? And we came back with, how about a 1 hour post retreat private coaching session that's really more of a strategy session for your relationship with us? And the reason that we did that is because we felt like after retreats end, most couples leave feeling not having, like they feel unstoppable, but they don't also feel like, oh, wow, where do we go from here? And so we can step in and find those places where you had the most transformation, capitalize on that, and then help you with those areas where you feel like, I got the tool, but I'm not really sure how to make it work in life. And we can help you with that. And so we give you this post retreat session as a way for you to solidify those breakthroughs that you had during the program. So here's everything that's inside. You get expert eyes on what's working, what's not working. You get to move through any resistances, stuck spots that you got in the retreat, and you get to reconnect with the magic of your transformation. We're going to give you targeted support for any lingering challenges or patterns that you feel you need help with. And then we're going to show you a way to get a commitment to a new relationship vision, sort of like the vision that Lori and I have. But what if you developed your own, something that's unique to you, right? And again, I love to go back to John because he's amazing. It's one thing to be in the retreat, but the real world, it tests you. So the coaching call helped them to focus on what they needed, and we were in their corner. We'll be in your corner as well. So again, you might be thinking, I don't know if I need this, but look, the truth is your retreat will unlock deep shifts for you, and we want to make sure that they stick. And so that's why we included that. So here's what you're going to get with this offer, this Love You Deserve offer, the 4-day Extraordinary Lovers Experience. You'll get the Extraordinary Lovers 6 Weeks Journey, which is a $24.97 value, the 1 hour private coaching session, which is a $597 value. And that's the total for that. So what else do you need to have the love you deserve? Well, how about some community? Yeah. So we're going to give you 3 months of Lori's Inner Circle free. And the benefits here for the inner circle are incredible. This is where you're going to get the extraordinary community of lovers who are on the same path that you are, but you also get to go in and work with some of the self-paced courses that Lori has produced already, like her Bliss course, Bliss Redux, which is a brand new version of her Bliss course that she started in the 90s.
I started teaching Tantra in 1999.
Mhm.
So that was my course, Bliss.
Yeah.
And then I redid it. I filmed it, but then I redid it with my new commentary a couple of
Right.
years ago.
You also get to binge listen to 15 years of Lori. Lori was a podcaster before podcasting was a thing. She was a internet radio host, I think is
Yeah,
what you were
that's what
called.
they called it.
And she has a program. It's a podcast called Sex and Happiness, and she has literally interviewed everybody in the world of tantra, sacred sexuality, and biohacking, and everybody. So you can listen to hundreds of hours, thousands of hours, literally, of her podcast. You can also binge watch all of Lori's movies anytime you like. You'll get VIP pricing and early access to events, and you get the first 3 months free. So that's what's involved with that. You get the Love You Deserve package. Again, it's 4 days of the Extraordinary Lovers Experience. You also get the Extraordinary Lovers 6 Week Journey, $24.97. The 1 hour private coaching sessions, $597, and you get 3 months access to Lori's Inner Circle. And the total on that value is 6,740 or 10,237 if you're in a couple. And I have a question for you. What if all this did was give you a repeatable way to return to love after any breakdown? Would it be worth it?
Hell yes.
What if it allowed you to finally feel safe expressing your truth and desires? Would that be worth it? And what if it gave you the tools to reignite your passion, build a love that lasts? Would that be worth it? What if it gave you the sex life you deserve? Hey, really, would that be worth it? All right, so we had two choices. Actually, the first choice was, okay, we keep offering the retreat, just the retreat, and the hope that couples would reignite or integrate the work on their own. And the second option was create something holistic, a full transformational journey that includes support, it includes practices, intimacy tools, and that could create the love of a lifetime. So we chose the second. So, what's extraordinary love worth to you? John and Christine have been together 46 years. I wonder how much they spent on therapy, how much they spent on coaching.
And they had divorces before they got together.
Both of them are in their
Had
second marriage.
Costly divorces.
Yeah. The cost is just too much. I mean, how much would you have to pay, or how much would you pay to have the love you deserve? And here's another cost. What's the cost of inaction? This is the important thing. We know that the first, 43% of first marriages end in divorce, usually within the first 5 years. But here's something to think about. It's those 5 years of misery before the divorce, before you walk in to the lawyer's office and start divvying everything up. Think about that. So let's save some money. Let's save some time. And by the way, this is actually an investment. This is an investment in your love life. So here's what you get. You can see it's worth 10,000 plus at least. And for the general public, we charge that. But because you're here, because you're special, because we invited you, we want to make sure that you get the love you deserve in a package that's affordable and just for you. So here we go. You get the 4-day intensive workshop, the $34.97 value. You're not going to pay that. Plus all 3 bonuses. That's a $32.43 value. And the special pricing for you today is $21.97 per person. You get to come to Phoenix. You're going to spend the weekend with us, and we're going to work with you, and we're going to give you all the other things as well. So now you have 2 choices, right? You can do nothing. You can stay in the same patterns, allow things to keep going the way they are without having the real tools that could bring you to this new passionate way of loving, this bold new way of loving we keep calling a movement. Or you could say yes to a proven path, like a powerful, loving container that is going to move you through methods that will give you everything you're looking for. And like you can wait it out till you hit another bump.
Oh, it's hitting that bump. It's ridiculous.
Or in a few months, you could wake up more in love than you have ever been. Like, that's the choice. By the way, we believe in this method so much that we're willing to give you 30-day support guarantee. So here's what it is. You show up, you participate fully, you apply what you learn. And if you don't feel your relationship has grown in passion and connection, by the end of the 6-week journey that we'll be on, we're going to give you 3 sessions at no extra cost, couples coaching to help you solve those problems. We're committed to your relating. Like, we want you to be more than inspired. We want you to be transformed.
Totally.
Okay. So the real question is, how long? Like, if you want something different, this is it. Okay. So here's what you're going to get: the 4-day Extraordinary Lovers Experience, the Extraordinary Lovers 6-week journey, $24.97, the 1-hour private coaching session, $5.97, the 3 months access to Lori's Inner Circle. It's huge. It's $149 value. And the total value, again, $67.40 or $10,237 per person. And the first 3 couples who enroll
Or singles.
we're going to include your lodging. So you're going to get a room with this, okay, for the first three. So do it now. Go to checkout.extraordinarylovers.com, register right now, and you'll get your lodging included. If you don't, then you're going to have to take care of your lodging on your own. By the way, we have a chef that's coming, and so all the food will be included in this. You won't have to worry about that, but you will have to get your own Airbnb or someplace to stay while you're in Phoenix, unless you're one of the first three to enroll right now. So get to it. So here's what you need to do right now. You need to go to checkout.extraordinarylovers.com, claim your spot, say yes to reigniting your passion, to healing the unspoken pain, to getting back to what you had once, and really, really give yourself a shot at this. By the way, I want to say this because Alexa's on the call today, and Alexa is our support. She is one of our team members, and she is here to have conversations with you to clarify what we're talking about inside of this Extraordinary Lovers experience. She's been to it. She had an amazing experience herself with her beloved, and she's there to have a call with you. So you can book a call with her. She's going to go ahead and put two links, one for couples and one for singles, inside of the chat. Go ahead and do that, and also the checkout link. If you're like, I don't need any more clarification, I want this, let's go. Go ahead and click on that link and get yourself registered today. Oh, look at this. We've got questions. They're there. All right. Yeah. And by the way, Alexa, thank you so much for being on the call with us today. We love you. We appreciate you so much. And Alicia as well, and all the rest of you. Yeah. Questions, please book a call. If you have any questions, we'll make sure that we take care of all the things. Now, before we go, because I know we're a little over time, let me just say this. Don't go anywhere until you get your free gift. Our free gift to you is a 3 R's quiz. If you're curious, if you can't, you're biting,
Know where you are.
don't know where you're at.
You want to take this quiz and see where you're at and you're relating.
Yeah, we're gonna take questions in just a second, but the 3 R's quiz is designed to help you to understand where you might be at in your relating right now. And here's how I recommend you do it. If you're in a couple, you take the quiz and then hand that link off to your person, to your beloved, and let them take the quiz. And don't really tell each other where you're at, kind of guess where you might be at, but at some point you can share with the other, hey, this is where we're at. And if they weren't here for this call, we're going to give you a link to the replay. Those, I don't know, 20 emails that got sent at you, I apologize for that, but somewhere in those emails is a link to the replay. And once this is edited and put back up, you'll be able to watch that and share that with your friends. So
Can't we send them a new link?
we can send you a new link. I think we could send out a new email that's
Only
separate,
one email.
separate from the rest, just one that has the replay link. Yeah, okay, I see you, Trish. Yeah, we'll resend that for you. Not a problem. All right, so here it is. Register now. Just $21.97, all bonuses included. Let's go ahead and take some questions. I know we're over by a little bit. I think we're 5 minutes past, so I acknowledge that we're late. And we want to be able to take some questions from you to see if there's anything that you comments, or if you just have something that you really is a burning question for you.
Here's a question.
Oh, what if those dates don't work for us this time? Will there be other opportunities? Yes. In February 2026, that'll be our next one. And then we have another one in May. That's going to be on the other side of the country. So we'll do one this December in Phoenix. And then in February, I believe it's the 19th to the 21st.
Yes.
Registration is not open for that yet. We're still trying to fill this one. So if you can't make it in December, start looking for February. So 19th through the 22nd in February. We have another one coming up in May in Philly. And then I don't have the schedule in front of me, but there are 2 more after that at the end of the year. So can I get the discount for the Philly date? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. We will actually be doing a separate webinar for that, for the Philly date.
Who has that?
Emily. Hi, Emily. We got your email.
Yeah, your email was amazing. Thank you so much.
So good to see you on here. Yeah, thank you. She came to just about everything we did on the East Coast. We were in New York City and she was there for that and delightful. First time I ever met you.
And Philly,
And then we saw her in Philly and I was like, boy, that's a bit of a drive, isn't it?
she's sending us hearts.
That's awesome. Thank you for being here today, Emily. Well, listen, everyone, we had a wonderful time here today. We really appreciate you coming. Hope that you got lots to work with or at least think about. And we hope to see you in class someday soon. And we're going to say good night. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you, Eric. Oh yeah, thank you, Carrie. Thank you for saying that. She said thank you for your work. It is needed more than ever.
Oh, we know.
Oh,
my
thank
God.
you for saying that. Yeah, here's our Q&A. Oh, thank you, Trish. Yeah,
Trish, so good to see you here. Thank you.
yeah.
And John, I know you're on there. John and Victoria somewhere. I don't know if you're still on, but it was great to have you on.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, definitely reach out to Alexa if you have any questions. Click the link. Thank you, Carrie. Oh, thank you, David. Really appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Hey, Trish, you have a fantastic day the rest of your day.
Oh yeah, happy birthday
Yeah.
to you.
Enjoy. All right, everyone.
All right.
We're going to log off here. We'll leave this here.
Yeah.
This last thing for you. If
Everyone is saying
you're sticking around,
Alexa
thank you, Alexa.
so much, and Alicia.
Yes.
It's great having you on the call too. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So amazing. Appreciate you all.